Okay, well, part 2 is going to pick up in what you would think is Kevin's garage, but nope, it's all mine. Just mine, with all of his junk. But it's fun. So we're going to start just in this kind of series, get some of everything cleaned up. The wiring's going to get cleaned up, like the gun mount there. Some of the wiring, I'm going to move the winch. For some reason, the guy mounted the winch back there, but I don't know if anyone else knows this, which is old news now because they don't even make these folders anymore. But Polaris offers the positive and negative to the pre-wired winch right there, and it's got the mounting holes right there for a solenoid, so you don't have to go anywhere. It's just all right there. And then I do the antifreeze. So we already kind of cleaned out all the fuses there. So, and we'll pay attention to the belt. All right, so working on the wiring. I'm going to dielectric grease all my plugs, of course. Most of these wires right here in this little bundle were chewed up, which actually just goes into these bus bars, these two here, together. So I got a few of these that were chewed up. I got to connect them to back up in here. So hopefully it'll end up looking like this again. Just your connectors, put some heat shrink on them. Soldering wasn't really working out, so had to do one there. Had to do one right there for that's the pressure switch for the brake to make the basically starting gear. And that harness is all done, like I said, so now this is just the last, what, 3 or 4 that I've got to do. Maybe put on a new fan breaker. I've got one sitting over there, so yeah. Other than that, it should be good to go. The wire's connected up in this one. The connector's all cleaned out, dielectric grease, now ready to put in. Everything's all done. Got all the wiring spliced up. Figured out where I need to go with everything. Everything is dielectric greased. Put back, so the wiring on this thing is done. And for all the people that don't like the finger pointing, this is my project, that's my project, this is my shop, these are the videos. If you don't like the finger pointing, I got another finger that will help you figure out what I think about that. So that's it. So just doing some winch rerouting and everything. Like I said before, he had it all the way to the back over there, and it's just not needed because Polaris offers this where that's your positive negative there. So I'm moving it there. Redid the switch up to there. Put in some different wires here so it's not such a long run, and then just use the factory step. Okay, so this will probably be the last drain as far as trying to get it flushed out. Before, I mean, you guys saw it, it was pretty dang bad. And that's it after, I think, 3 or 4. So I'm gonna run with this for a while, and yeah, it still needs it though. I might do a couple more, but as of right now, we're gonna wait until a bunch of the front diff. Until we decided to actually do the front differential. One other little thing I noticed about this one is that in the secondary it has a orange belt here, or a orange belt. It's got an orange spring. The only orange spring that I know of and can find is from a team secondary. But that's it. There's no black line on it, blue line on it, anything like that. So the factory one is supposed to be green and white according to the parts diagrams and everything, but this one is an orange one. So if you know anything about that, let me know. If it looks like a team secondary or a Dalton or something, let me know. Still got to finish cleaning up the primary, the helix and everything else, but clutches will be done tonight. I missed the drain, or draining it, but that was the transmission fluid, so not bad there. Just a simple change. Everything still feels good. Nice. Got the clutches kind of cleaned up for as much as we're going to still, because this is still a testing phase. So about to pop in everything on the primary. That's the spring. It's the blue and the green. Still got to check this, make sure that that's the right one. The weights are the factory one, so I'm not sure if this thing's got a clutch kit or not, because that spring is still not sure about that. So about to put this all together, be good to go. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna leave it for part 2. Everything's pretty well, definitely not done, but it's good enough that we're gonna give it a drive tomorrow. We're gonna see how it does. Everything is done that needs prepped to actually get it back to a starting point, I guess you could say. All the wiring is done. It's taped up, loomed up, heat shrunk, everything like that's in there. Some things are dielectric greased. Got new fuses and dielectric grease there. The winch now works. Everything's contacted where it's supposed to up there. The belt is all done, put on with that new 800 Razor S Gates belt. So the contact patch is way better there. The clutches, of course, got to be resurfaced again, which is all stuff I got to do. The battery will be here tomorrow. It doesn't even have an air filter in there still right now. Just everything's kind of laid down on the top. But all the fluids are changed. All the bearings actually seem pretty good. We do have a new set of brake pads coming forth though. It does turn on. The gauge panel still... The gauge panel you can kind of see. Like there's the zero, the gauge for the fuel and everything. So it does still work, but of course it being caught up in a flood sure got to it. I'll do the fluid again once I actually get the brake pads on there and I can separate the calipers, push fluid back up in here, change that out. What else? Everything's kind of straightened up, like wires and everything. That is for the winch, for the factory Polaris winch. That's the positive that goes to the battery, of course. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure when we'll be back to it. We got a ride coming up this weekend at River Run if it's not completely flooded. We'll still go there. We got snorkels. Honda just needs a little bit more. So yeah, not much more to say. Everything is actually doing really well for what we expected of this four-wheeler. There's another shot of like the Line plastics and everything. But what do y'all think? I mean, is it worth doing? Is it worth even messing with? Is it worth, you know, keep on going? Or I kind of think it is. I mean, it was donated, so we'll see what happens. Probably our plans for it, if we do keep it, is gonna be probably the Weisico 11 to 1 pistons, high compression pistons. I want to do the 3.5 degree ignition or timing key on it. 31s, different wheels, the CV Tech primary, better secondary on the spring, of course the air filter, different exhaust, because this exhaust is, I mean, it's alright, but it's not cutting it. So that's just the plan, is just to get enough to, and of course snorkels. We are going to do snorkels. Not sure which ones we're going to go with or how I'm going to do it yet, because I had a Sportsman 500 also and I never snorkeled it just because, I mean, it is a pain in the butt. You got to bring everything up through here and somehow get them all up through here. So I got some ideas that I want to do maybe, and we'll see. But